Hello, everyone. I'm here with Steve Robertson, President and CEO of Infinitum Copper. We're doing the backstage interview for the Metals Investor Forum. I don't directly cover Infinitum in my newsletter. They are actually covered by Chen Lin, but I'm certainly happy to do the backstage interview on his behalf. And Steve, welcome and thanks for your time today to dig a little deeper on Infinitum.
Well, thank you very much, Peter, for having us. I appreciate you inviting us into your session and looking forward to doing the interview with you.
It's my pleasure. And why don't we kick things off, Steve, with having you tell us about the team at Infinitum.
Okay, well, that's really the core of this business is the people that you are associated with. And we've certainly got a star-studded team at Infinitum Copper. First of all, the two technical advisors that we have, Peter McGaw, I probably doesn't need any introduction. He's certainly recognized as a world leader in carbonate replacement systems, and he's been working in these types of systems for well over 40 years. My relationship with Peter goes back to 1997. I was the first guy to hire Peter to come and work in British Columbia, and I was managing this Silvertip deposit, which is now a mine owned by Coeur. And Peter and I have stayed in touch over the years, and he actually was the reason why I got into Infinitum Copper. Doug Kerwin is a world-renowned porphyry expert. He was the executive vice president for exploration at Ivanhoe for a number of years. He had a number of discoveries to his credit, and he continues to have a tremendous passion and fire for exploration and discovery. So a great those two guys, we kind of have the copper spectrum covered with their expertise. So it really puts us in a good position to start building a portfolio of good exploration projects. Beyond that, we have Jorge Ramiro Monroy, who's a really expert in capital markets and does a great job of helping us stay funded.
Excellent. So it sounds like you're off to a great start on the people side. Can you tell us a little bit about how the Adelita project ended up with Infinitum?
Yeah, well, Adelita is actually a project that Peter has known of and really was one of the drivers to have that property first assembled for Minorum, who we optioned it from. So Peter identified the opportunity. We did an option agreement with Minorum. We have an opportunity to earn 80% of the property, at which point we'll form a JV with them. And yeah, that's part of the concept of having world-class experts to bring these sorts of opportunities forward. I mean, frankly, Adelita is an excellent opportunity for exploration. I can't believe that it hasn't been further explored earlier. It's sitting right next door to a former producer, the Alamo Dorado mine that was operated by Pan American Silver until it was exhausted in 2017. And really, that's the only part of the district that's been exploited. We control the rest of the district on our property. So great opportunity for us.
So maybe you can give us a bit of an idea, an overview of the kind of size potential that you see now. I realize that certainly is forward-looking, but it'd be great for listeners to get some sort of idea, I guess, of what you may be looking at ultimately.
Yeah, it is a little bit forward-looking to talk about size at this point because there's so little exploration that's been done. There's less than 7,500 meters of drilling in total that's been done on the property to date. But we do see a lot of the hallmark features that would indicate to us that this is a big, strong system. So when we take a look at the skarn, it's called Cerro Grande, that's on the Adelita project, we see the evidence of multiple phases of mineralizing fluids that have come through. These long-lived multi-phase systems, those are the ones that get big and rich. And we certainly have richness there. There's excellent grades in the skarn. And so we have good reason to believe that it could be big as well. With the grades that we've seen there so far, we've got lots of sort of 2% copper equivalent grades. I think if one were to have 10 million tons of that type of mineralization in a spot like where Adelita is at, you'd have a very good mine on your hands. And I think that there's lots of potential for that sort of size or more.
So maybe you can give us a little overview of the kind of exploration that investors might be able to look forward to. Again, I don't know if that's too early, but maybe you can speak to that a little bit, in terms of size of program, et cetera.
I don't think it's too early to talk about that. There's so many exploration targets on the property that are ready to go. We effectively have a drill-ready program laid out before us. I've already had a geological crew on the property for a couple of months now, prioritizing some of the drill targets, and they've actually had a very productive season already in that they've identified new showings and they've been out there and doing a lot of sampling. We're going to be doing some geophysics, CSAMT. Magnetotellurics is a geophysical technique that I've used in the past on this type of system, and it works very well. So we're going to use that to help identify or refine where we're going to be putting our drill holes. And then we'll get into drilling in hopefully March of 2022 and get a decent starter campaign to start to feel out what the nature of mineralization is in a couple of different zones. I've already mentioned Cerro Grande. We've also got another really good zone there called Las Trancas. Las Trancas is actually a doppelganger for the Alamo Dorado mine that was next door. You take a rock from Las Trancas and you take it over to Alamo Dorado, you wouldn't know that it was from a different spot. So we're very encouraged about the potential there, and we'll be testing that zone with drilling as well.
So this seems to be in an area that has, as you mentioned, your former producing neighbor, in an area that has seen plenty of activity. What does infrastructure look like?
The infrastructure is excellent. We've got good roads, network of roads throughout the property. Paved roads are not that far away, and we're actually probably only 10 kilometers or less than 10 kilometers away from a hydro facility. So good power in the area and a good workforce. I mean, one of the most incredible resources in our business is people. And we live right with the community that is well versed in mining. These people have been, multi-generational miners and understand the mining business. So really, we're not lacking for anything in terms of infrastructure in our area.
Well, Steve, you've given us a good overview. Is there something specific you may want to leave viewers with that we haven't touched on so far?
Yeah, well, I think that it's really important to, think about copper as, where does copper sit in society today? And I think that we all know that copper is a really important metal to us as we transition into a low carbon environment, and the consumption of copper is just increasing year over year, and it's becoming more and more difficult to get mines into production, to find mines. And so the market for copper looks really good going forward. And when you take a look around the industry, I don't see a lot of really good early stage exploration opportunities in copper. And that's one of the reasons why we're here, is we saw this void in the industry. And we really think that we're going to do our best to try and fill that void, come forward with some really high quality exploration plays that hopefully will catch the market's attention, and we look forward to being able to exploit them. I think that there's going to be a good opportunity for us going forward.
Well, it certainly sounds like an exciting story. I certainly look forward to following it myself as well, and I'm sure viewers do. Let's keep tabs on Infinitum and watch how it progresses. Thanks very much for the overview, Steve. I appreciate that.